What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, I'm Kayla and welcome all to today's video. Today's video is going to be a gym vlog and today's video is day 2 of Vlogmas. If you missed the first one, I'll leave it in the description below. I don't know how many days of Vlogmas I'm doing, but I'm at least committing to day number 2. We are hitting glutes today and I'm going to be walking you through my perfect glute workout. This is a glute workout that I outlined in my last video, and this is the glute workout that I really think has really changed my glutes and helped me grow them, along with, of course, a proper diet. So I'm going to be taking you through the perfect glute workout, giving you some tips and just what I do to help grow these glutes, because I know all the girlies want to do that. If you're not already, make sure to subscribe and let's get into the rest of the video and let's get on to Vlogmas day 2. Okay, so the first exercise is always going to be a glute bridge or a hip thrust, and we'll get into the difference between those two in a second. But what you're going to do is find yourself a barbell or a Smith machine, and you're going to find one of these pads and put it onto the barbell because we need to protect our hips here. It's the heavier you go, the more impossible it is to do without a proper pad. If you have a hip thrust machine, you can use that too, but make sure that you're protecting your hips with this pad. And we're gonna start off with just the bar. Some people will go right into a plate. And I feel like whatever warm-up weight works for you. I'll do a bar. I don't really count that as my warm-up, but technically it is. And then I'll go into a plate and then I'll do my actual working set. But if you start off with the bar, that's okay. And if you need a little bit less than a bar, you can also do these with dumbbells or kettlebells, and it's still just as effective. You're gonna have the pad so that it's right at your shoulder blades. And then for a hip thrust, right, you're gonna go all the way down and up. That's the full range of motion. It engages your glutes and your hamstrings. For a glute lift though, I'm gonna keep it right here. I'm gonna keep it so it hits more just glutes. So the way that I like to structure it, and this is pretty much for all of my main movements, it'll be a warm-up weight and 2 to 3 working sets. The working weight is something that you could hit failure in within an 8 to 12 rep range. That depends on who you ask, but that's ideal. So your working weight should be something that you could do like 15 reps in. If you're doing a working set, you hit like 12 reps and you feel like you could do more than 12, you could probably do 20. That's not a working set, that's a warm-up weight. Let's do a warm-up set first. Like your warm-up, you don't want to exhaust yourself on it, but you do want to start to breathe a little heavy and realize what you're about to get yourself into. So let's put on our actual weight, and this is the start of our actual workout. Oh, I forgot to mention, started with like 12 minutes on the treadmill, just a light walk, not even incline. And then I did some dynamic stretching to open up my hips. That was all the warm up. And now we're moving on to our actual workout. So let's lock in. Disclaimer, you exercise at your own risk, obviously. This is just a video. It's not like, this is exactly what you should do. So when you're training to failure, you should be careful because it's good to push yourself, but you also need to recognize when it's like you're pushing past that sticking point or you're about to break your back. You need to be self-aware. You need to listen to your body when it's telling you to like stop. And that doesn't mean give up or anything. It just means train with caution. That's what I'm saying. Train with caution, but you know, obviously push to failure when you can. Let's do one more set of that. Okay, so the next exercise that we're gonna do is gonna be a hyper extension. Now, my gym has a cable loaded one, but there's also like just a regular one that's plate loaded, and that one works as well. There's a glute builder. We're gonna be focusing on our glutes and or hamstrings, depending on how you set it up and what you prefer. But me, I'm just gonna focus on my glutes and hamstrings in this one. So you're gonna adjust it to about hip height. So that way, when you lean over on top of it, it's a natural range of motion. You see how my hip is like right here? It's not too high up where it's like digging into my ribs or too far down where I don't know where I am. So if you want more glutes, you're gonna round your upper back a little bit and squeeze at the top. For me, I want to target just a little tiny bit of hamstrings on this. So I'm gonna keep my back neutral, and I'm also gonna squeeze at the top, but that's just gonna hit more glutes and hamstrings. So I used to keep these at the end of my workout, but honestly, honestly. And by the time I got to the end of my workout, I was so lightheaded. And so going over and up at the end of my workout like that, I was just not doing too hot there. And maybe that's an excuse, right? Maybe. But putting these after glute bridges, it just amplifies the glute pump. We just finished our compound movement where we hit the glutes in the shortened position. Now we're hitting the glutes in another shortened position with this hyperextension. So my toes are pointed out. This is rounded. Nice squeeze. And this is more neutral spine. And we're gonna do 3 working sets. Also vlog, let's get into the outfit. It's Vlogmas day 2. I wanted to have some type of Christmassy vibe going on. I hope that's what it's giving. This is from Amazon. These are my favorite shorts from Amazon. I have some Nike socks on and then my 9060 New Balances. About the second exercise is when I take off all of my layers. Alright girls, so the next exercise is going to be an RDL, which stands for Romanian deadlift. I know that you don't like these. I don't think this is really anyone's favorite exercise, and if it is, good for you, girl. I literally took this out of my split for the past month because I just did not want to do them anymore. After you're done with like those first few exercises, honestly, after you're done with that glute bridge, you should be done warming up. In my opinion, you should be warmed up enough that you can just go right into your working weight. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, right, and if you need to get acclimated to the exercise, some people just need to do like a set with a bar or a set with a plate first before they can go into the working set, and that's fine. You can just do one warm-up weight, but don't spend half of your sets warming up. You're expending too much energy just doing these throwaway sets. The dumpy is not growing itself, ladies. I feel like I was in a bit of a standstill or like a little stagnant with my glute growth. And so that's why I switched up my split a little bit. If you're at a standstill, that's when you need to realize that you either need to switch something up or mentally challenge yourself even harder. You should honestly put the bar a little bit higher. I would have put it 1 link higher, but it was already set up. So we're gonna keep it shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees. We're gonna do a glute bias RDL, and we're gonna go back and down. And you're gonna keep the bar really close to your legs, and we're gonna stop kind of like at mid-shin. RDLs are kind of like a little bit of a harder movement to get down. That's just for anybody that's in the gym. So like, don't feel bad if you can't do it. I'm just gonna rapid fire off some tips straight from Google and myself, and then you're gonna watch the clip of me doing my set. And hopefully you can see all the cues that I just gave you. Feet hip width apart, bend your knees slightly, and brace your core. Grab the bar with slightly wider than shoulder width grip. Like engage your lats and then pull them down. Keep the bar tight against your body. This is like a really important one because if the bar is like a foot away from you, it's all back. You're gonna push your hips back as if you're trying to touch a wall behind you. Keep your back straight and neutral and maintain the slight bend in your knees. It'll go to like mid-shin height. You're gonna drive your hips forward to return to that starting position and squeeze your glutes at the top of the movement. So let's do our last set. You know the drill. Okay, vlog, so next up, we're gonna be doing glute step-ups. I'm doing them with a kettlebell, but you can do them on the Smith machine, you can do them with a dumbbell and a bench. Some people do cable step-ups or the B-squat machine. I used to do step-ups on there all the time, but today I'm just doing them on the kettlebell. These step-ups are the best, like unilateral glute movement. A few cues, you're gonna keep your knee behind your toe, like you're not going to do knees over toes with this one. You want to get as much glute engagement as possible. You are going to like do a light tap at the bottom of the movement. We're not going to use our back leg for real for this because it should be all about the working leg. So, and we're going to do 2 working sets of this, and we're going to try to aim for that 8 to 12 rep range once again. Our compound movements are done. Our unilateral / one-legged movements are done. Now it's the time of the workout where we can do our accessory work. So this is when typically people would have done their hyperextensions, but we already did that. So now we're doing my second accessory movement, which are cable kickbacks. I got these cable kickback attachments from Upper. They're probably my most recommended investment because I use them every single week. Now, if you don't have them and you don't have a cable kickback machine, which is what some people have, then I've literally seen people clip this onto their shoelace. I don't know. I've never tried that before, so I don't know how well that would work out. But when I didn't have a cable attachment, I would literally take the regular handle and squeeze my foot in between there so that it would be around my ankle, and I do cable kickbacks that way. So wherever there's a will, there's a way. What I've recently started doing actually is adjusting it so the cable is like right at my knee height. So I get a little bit of knee drive when I go ahead and do the cable kickback. I'm going to aim for 12 to 15 reps here, and I'm keeping the weight pretty light. Like this is kind of just my burnout. I already did my first set, but we're going to do 3 sets of this. And really the focus here is the squeeze at the top. Now there's different ways to do a cable kickback. There's one where you go straight back, and that's going to hit your upper glute. And then there's one where you go straight back into the side, which is going to hit your glute medius, your side glute. So normally I'll switch between going straight back and out, glute med versus top glute, depending on the day. But today I'm just going to do straight out. So I'm going to take 1 step back, slight bend forward, slight bend in the opposite knee as well. And I'm going to push straight back and squeeze. And I feel like having this knee drive right here, like putting the cable attachment higher, just helps me. But some people put it lower. It kind of just depends on you. People have so many variations of how they do cable kickbacks. So my biggest tip for you is, if this is a hard exercise, just like with any other exercise, master form before weight. That doesn't mean don't push yourself, as I was explaining earlier. All right, so Alright vlog, so that is the end of the video. I hope that gave you some help structuring your glute workout, or if you needed some gym motivation, or if you just were like, girl, I don't know what to do, I need to grow these glutes. I hope that video helped you in some way. If you have any questions on glutes or just exercise or fitness in general, leave them down below. Leave me a comment if you liked the video. I love just sitting and talking while working out. Like I love a good yap and lift session. So I just love making these type of videos. And if it also helps you and informs you in some way, that's just a double win. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed Vlogmas Day 2. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next vlog. Bye.